The history of animation. Pre-film animation. Before film animation, there were devices that produced the illusion of motion by displaying a sequence of drawings or photos that showed progressive phases of the motion. Phenakoscope. Invented by Joseph Plateau in 1833, it was similar to a GIF, operated on a spinning disc, viewed by spinning the disc and looking through the slit at the moving images. Only one person could use it at a time. Zoetrope, basically a cylindrical version of the phonoscope. It was introduced as a toy by Milton Bradley in 1866. Praxinoscope, similar to the zoetrope, improved by replacing the zoetrope's narrow viewing slit with an inner circle of mirrors. It was invented in France in 1877 by Charles-Émile Reynaud. Traditional animation, or cell animation or hand-drawn animation, a technique in which each frame is drawn by hand. You drew a character over and over, layering it on a static background. Commonly used in the earlier 20th century, before the arrival of computer-animated films, and is not commonly used today. Gertie the Dinosaur, an early example of traditional animation created by Winsor McCay in 1914. Alice's Wonderland, Walt Disney's earliest film made in 1923 and also employs cell animation. Walt Disney. He created Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937, which was the first ever feature-length animation made. Walt Disney took the hand-drawing cell technique and used it to make an entire film. Stop-motion animation, created by objects being moved about in small increments and photographed so that when the frames are played back, it will create a fluid motion. It first came about in 1898 with the film The Humpty Dumpty Circus. None of this film remains. Fun in a Bakery Shop, 1902, one of the earliest examples of stop-motion animation made by Edwin S. Porter and Thomas Edison. Willis O'Brien created the first feature-length stop-motion, The Lost World, in 1925. Made extensive use of stop-animated models to create the most lifelike dinosaurs seen on film at the time. Dinos made such an impression that O'Brien survived the transition to sound films and made King Kong, 1993, an iconic film. Famous stop-motion films include Fantastic Mr. Fox, 2009, Coraline, 2009, and Nightmare Before Christmas, 1993. Pixelation animation, a stop-motion technique using live actors who repeatedly pose, changing position slightly between frames. The actor is used as a living stop-motion puppet, often used as a way to blend live actors with animated ones. Been around since the early 1900s in films like Ferrer's Hotel Extrique in 1908 and Emile Cole's Joe Boy Cannot See the Woman Working in 1911. It really took off with a man named Norman McLaren, who made the videos on the methods of animation and his film Neighbors in 1952. Vector animation. Animation where the art or motion is controlled by vectors rather than pixels. It allows for cleaner, smoother animation, and the character doesn't have to be drawn over and over again. You can create rigs for characters and move body parts individually rather than redrawing. It began with the invention of Flash, but it only skyrocketed once it was purchased by Adobe. Jonathan Gay created Flash in November 1996 as an animation editor for web pages. Flash helped bring about the rise of vector animation, especially after Adobe's purchase of it. Vector animation examples: Blue's Clues, which ran from 1996 to 2006, Phineas and Ferb, 2009 to 2015, and Johnny Test, 2006 to 2014. Motion graphics. Before computer editing, it was a very time-consuming process limited to high-end productions. Nowadays, thanks to computer editing, it's used in commercials, news shows, and sports things. Charles Schurry, considered the father of digital art and computer animation, founded lots of groups dedicated to the development of digital art and computer animation. Co-founder of Kanchan Shashura Production, one of the world's first computer animation production companies. 3D animation, aka CGI, currently the most popular animation technique used in TV shows, video game animations, and films. Digitally models fitted with a skeleton that allows animators to move the models. Unlike 2D, the characters aren't flat, and 3D animation started in 1995 with Toy Story and led to people attempting to create photorealistic animations in movies like Avatar and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. John Lasseter created Toy Story in 1995, and he was a pioneer in the art of 3D animation. Although computer-generated animation had been used before, like in Ghost and Ghostbuster, he created the first feature-length entirely computer animated film, totally reforming the animation